Dr. Dre's daughter, 38 years old. She's complaining that he doesn't give her money. He's not helping her take care of her kids. Um, is Dr. Dre obligated to help this young lady? Is do you know? Did he already did his job already? She's 38 years old with multiple kids. Is it still his time to take care of her? Is he doing something wrong by not helping her? Um, let's start off with Cherie.
Okay. Okay. I will first. This is hard because I'm a mom, and my husband always said that I want to baby my babies forever.
Mhm.
So, but realistically, like, what happened? Like, what was you doing? What are you like? What is going? It has to be something going on with
Yeah.
her, because for her to be homeless, because I know it was a certain time that he probably did give her money. So
Mhm.
what happened? What did you do?
With
Like,
the
what
money
are
they gave you.
yeah, like, I have to ask questions. I'm not
Mm.
gonna say just because I'm rich I have to take care of you. Of course, I don't want to see. I don't want to see you out in the street with your children. But I'm still gonna ask questions like, what is going on with you? What happened? Wasn't you working? Maybe she's done a lot of things that we don't know.
Yeah, facts, facts.
So we don't know what happened between them at one point.
Because
But
he was helping. So, you know.
yes, so what did you do with that money? Maybe because you thought you was Dr. Dre's daughter, and he gonna always help you. No, things don't go like that. You're 38 years old. You grown. So
Big woman status.
exactly. I don't like I said, me, I will help my babies as much as I can. I don't think I will want to see them in the street with their children, but I'm still gonna ask questions. He's not obligated to take care of you anymore. He's
Mm.
not. He can help you, but he don't have to take care of you he don't have to. And
Yeah.
that's just he don't have to. He can help, but he don't have to take care of you. He don't.
You
That's
know,
just me.
I think a lot of times our kids feel like that we're obligated to do stuff for them. And I'm a person that believes this. Okay, I believe that when you're a family, they're depending on the situation. There's always room for forgiveness, right? So, something could have taken place that Dr. Dre. Sometimes you got to give your kids tough love.
Mhm.
Sometimes your kids are going down a street that you see is destruction, and if you keep supplying them with what they need, it's going to lead straight to destruction and more problems later on. So you said, "All right, I have to step away and let them deal with this part of their life that they need to deal." But Lola, what you think about this situation? Do you agree with Dre not helping her? Should he? Do he have to help her? Should he help her? What's your thoughts?
Does he have to? No. I do wonder if you have four children, where is their father or fathers, or why aren't you blasting them to help you?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And then if it she said he hasn't sent anything in what, over 18 months.
18 months.
Yeah, like
So
the daddy.
is he paying the child support, or like is he supposed
He must
like
be.
you are going to be middle aged. Why are you trying to ask your
Hey,
daddy to take
watch
care of
that
you?
middle age stuff, okay? Still look good.
No, you listen, you not putting on social media your daddy need to help you because you living in your car. No, like that's not the place that she should be in life. She need to reevaluate herself instead of trying to blast him.
Facts, facts. You know. T, before you hit your point, read that out for us.
No, he is not. There has to be a cutoff for your kids, and I'm sure she did something against Dre wishes that put her in that predicament. Um,
Probably, if he was giving her money
absolutely.
and he stopped. Usually, that's usually why people stop giving you stuff that they was giving you because you did something that they didn't like.
Something, yeah. Yeah.
What you saying,
Yeah.
T?
Yeah, I absolutely do not believe that he just is. He is not supposed to like she had to do something like it's come on now that the whole thing just come on, it doesn't even sound right. She's 38. Why aren't you taking care of yourself on your own right now?
And your
Even
four
if
kids. You got
my
all
father
40s.
was a billionaire, like I don't expect him to take care of me. Like I would want to make my own money. I would want to do for myself. And you know he ain't gonna have them. She looked like she was the only one in the car with a kid.
Mm, mm.
She delivering out the car. Like,
Yeah.
come on now. That don't even that right there sound like a
Sounds
spoiled
spaghetti.
brat.
Mm-hmm.
Sound like a spoiled
Entitled.
brat,
Mm-hmm.
entitled, privileged, spoiled brat who is being taught a lesson by her daddy, and people need to mind their business. That's a whole grown woman. She's somebody, mammy. Like,
Like I
come on
said,
now. That is
Or
help.
not his.
people.
That
Yeah,
yeah, like
help because if you really homeless and you out with your kids outside, of course I don't want to see my grandchildren like somebody
Right.
that I look in the comment. I don't want to see my grandkids outside, without a home or anything, but I can help. But I don't have to take care of you. You 38 years old. What's wrong with you? Where your
exactly.
job at? Like
Where did she go wrong in
what
life?
are you doing?
Yeah.
Like well, yeah,
Or
like
Being
she,
entitled, like, come on now, being entitled. That shows you she's spoiled,
mm-hmm.
entitled, and she thinks he's supposed to take care of her. And now she's gonna embarrass him in front of the whole world when she's
Because
really
he
just
didn't do what
embarrassing
she wanted.
herself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yeah.
like you're embarrassing yourself to say, I'm 38 and my daddy ain't give me no money in 18 months. What?
That's
What?
what I'm gonna be
I
like.
even had
Hey,
birthdays and I
she,
still can't remember when the last time my daddy just was like, here's some money. Like, what? Come on now. That
I
like I
think she
said,
making it worse for herself because the situation
yes.
he going through already, and now you throwing him under the bus
Mm-hmm.
more. That's just gonna put him in a headspace of saying, I raised you already. You are adult with
Bye.
kids. I was giving you money until you said 18 months ago. You did something, and now you on here bashing me. Oh, it's gonna be another 18 months before
and
you get another dime.
she could, for all we know, she could have like a drug problem. You know what I mean? And she was
Possibly.
stealing money. And you know what I mean? Like we don't know. Like that's
Don't
leaving
know
people
what.
business
Yeah,
alone.
exactly.
You
We don't
don't
know
know
what
what
happened.
exactly went on, but you know he gonna take care of his children. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
But she is a
These are
whole.
your
She a
children.
whole. I was gonna
But
say
I
she a
will say,
whole.
I will
Like
say,
take care of the
sometimes
grandkids.
with your children, things ain't hard like me. Sometimes, I might come on there like that. He be like, all right, I got you, boo. Or something, you know what I'm saying? Something like that, like help,
But you're not
someone.
expecting him to
But
do
I'm
it
not expecting him to take care of me.
monthly.
I'm 43 years old. Like,
Like she need
what?
to get over herself. Seriously.
Yes, yes. And you should go harder because you have children.
Right,
So you
right.
should be, even if you can go to this job, that job, deliver. You can do Uber. You can do. You know how much money people make at Uber? You know.
OnlyFans. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
Ah!
She
Hey,
got a great daughter. I know she
She
get
hey,
a
has
good.
some
She
internet
get some money on
around.
OnlyFans.
in her
Just
car.
saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Hey, you gotta
Short
work,
man.
work. She be on the
You know,
on the OnlyFans like, hey,
short
what
man
you
sitting over
for?
there marinating in his thoughts. I kind of already know what this guy is gonna say, but go ahead and read this before you get to your point, my brother.
It says here, I'm I'm getting rich to take care of my kids and make sure they're always good. So if I'm a billionaire, my children are only working for their lifestyle. They're not working for their survival. Okay, so that's a great point.
I mean,
Great
yeah,
point.
I
Great
guess
point.
it leads to how you look at life. Some
Yeah.
like saying there's sometimes if you're going down a path of destruction, are you going to help them keep going down that path, or
Right.
are
Are
you
you
going
gonna
to try and
fund the
stop them?
destruction?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm always about helping my children. So that's just number one, and we should all be about that. He's
Yeah.
definitely not obligated to take care of her, but what I think it is more of, though, I think it's a moral responsibility. So it's not that he's obligated, but it's a moral responsibility, and not that he should necessarily take care of her. I would say in that situation, and we don't know the inner workings, we don't know the particulars, but definitely we should probably, get the grandkids off the street first of all. Um, if she's in a situation where he was giving her money and she's just blowing the money because she's balling out because he's her dad and he's worth however many hundreds of million, then definitely he should probably pull back, get the grandkids, and get her into a situation where she can get help, a shelter, or whatever it is, get her off the street where she can get help. I don't think he should just be throwing money at her because, I mean, definitely I'm all about taking care of the kids. But at the same time, we all have kind of recognized that we don't know the whole story. This could be a situation where, like a lot of you said, that she's going down a bad path and giving her more money could lead to destruction. So get the kids from her, get her into a space where she can get help and get herself together where she can help herself. You don't have to give her money to really help her. You can get her into a shelter, get her into a rehab place or whatever it is, somewhere where she can just get herself together. But morally, I would take the grandkids. Morally, I would have to take the grandkids. I couldn't see them on the street in a car because she did something stupid. I couldn't see that.
Yeah.
That I can't
But
see. I'm not doing that.
She could have been living at his house, and he was like, "You gotta go by these rules," and she snatched her. People will take their kids and use them as bait. You know what I mean?
Spiteful. I totally agree with that.
I hate to say it, but some women will use them kids as like bait too. You know what I mean? As a punishment, like, oh no, like he probably was like, oh, the kids can come, but you can't. Well, my kid's going with me. I
think where she messed up is situation. I think where she messed up is on this one is you do not bring family issues that are this serious onto the public square.
On the internet, on social media.
That doesn't make listen. And we're all human beings. So for me to tell him to just drop his ego and forget about it, and he probably could, and it would make a difference. But that's a hard thing to deal with for anybody. I would be hurt by that. Rather than us trying to sort that out as a family, you throw it out in the public, and now people that don't know where we're coming from the situation, they're out there bashing you or bashing me, and bashing both of us, and nobody knows the whole story because everything that glitters isn't gold, you know what I mean? And we're not in the situation, so none of us can really say why he hasn't done anything, or if what she's even saying is the whole truth. But we just have to say, if the kids are on the street, morally, I would just get the kids off the street at least. And she's an adult; she can fend for herself. I mean, if we want to look at it like that, That's but true. Again, I wouldn't leave her on the street as my child. I wouldn't leave her on the street. I would get her into some place, where she can get help. You know what I mean? I wouldn't go give her more money because I don't know what she's doing with the money. But I would get her somewhere she can definitely get help. That's what I would do.
You gotta look at the fact that she's 38 and you never heard her say anything bad about her dad before this. Ever. You know what I mean? So apparently he's got to be a good dad.
But there's two sides to the story, though. Yeah,
he cut her off. He cut her off.
As always,
18 months ago, apparently, because I haven't gotten any money in over 18 months.
Wait a minute. See, Latre said, who's he? Wait a minute.
He's saying fine.
Yes, he's talking about you.
Hey, you're right, bro. Hey, bro, listen, man. I try to be balanced. I try to be balanced.
You do a horrible job of being balanced.
In my analysis, I try to be balanced, but a lot of times, sometimes it comes off as not balanced. I can admit that. I'm okay with saying that. Sometimes it's not balanced as it should be. But
that's what it happens.
Work in progress. I try to reevaluate myself and try to get better. So definitely in this situation, there's nuances, and we have to be able to deal with nuance, right? Some people like black and white. There's always a gray area. There's always nuance, and you have to deal with things in context.
Sometimes you color the gray over the lines, so
So sometimes you have to put things in the context and deal with it that way. This situation, leads itself to a lot of scrutiny.
I want to ask you a question. Before I ask you the question, Sweet Pisces said he had a whole empire. She should know how to make a beat by now.
Or something.
You're right.
What did she
learn? What did she learn?
She's driving, like she's delivery driving. Like
just like Dre said, like give me a job. Like you didn't work for none of your dad in none of his business things that he was doing. Like my dad has big, like I'll be running one of his business.
Gary said you reward good effort and accomplishments. You counsel a person with recurring personal issues. That's true, but sometimes it's, hey man, being a parent, one thing I've learned being a parent, growing up with seeing family members dealing with their kids and seeing friends and how their parents deal with them. Some of these people just don't listen. And it's hard for you as a parent to help somebody that's going down a path of destruction. You know, Lou said, imagine being a billionaire and your child doesn't own a home. That could be the child's fault. It doesn't necessarily have to be you. You could have bought her a home and she squandered
She
away.
lost it, you know, refinance without you
I
knowing.
think this situation really we need to find. So I think what we should do, we need to find out a little bit more about this story.
We ain't gonna find that out. So let's just work what we got. We don't,
I'm saying
We don't
We
know
about to do some
we
real
don't know
research
his
into
thoughts.
the
We don't know
celebrity
that all
life.
his thoughts. So let's just work.
You're gonna call Dr. Dre and do an interview. Let's call him now. Let's call him now. Let's see if he can
Let me know
guest on
what's
the
really
podcast.
going on.
Investigator. I'm gonna pay a PI to go get information for us. Okay.
Yeah, let me know what's really going on, Dre.
I want to pay
Okay.
a PI to get information for us. So
Let me know what's
Tag
really
tag
going
We'll
on.
be back
him
in
in
a
a
couple weeks
Facebook
with some
Live. See if he come on.
See, I wanted to ask you, Short Man, is this
Yeah.
really morally wrong? If I raise my kid to the age of 18 and as an adult, now they're obligated to be on their own. Is it morally wrong if I choose not to help them in in the rest of their pursuing of life? Is that morally wrong, really?
Yeah, so for me, I think in the obligatory sense, they don't have to do anything. But I think morally, I think it was that who was that? Somebody said, I think it was Lou said he couldn't sleep knowing his grandkids are out there. And that's all I'm saying. I'm saying morally, we should do something because we have the ability to do something. Some people don't have the ability to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
But if we have the ability to do something, we should do it. Because how does that make sense? If we have the ability to do something and not do it.
You know, the reason I asked you that is because we had a conversation the other day about cutting family members off.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, we certainly did.
Sometimes you have to cut some of these people off.
Definitely, no doubt. This one situation that we don't know.
You remember we was talking. My homeboy D the Brand that was on the show, Big Up D, said that you have to get, if the kid's not doing what they're supposed to do, they got to get out of his house. Man, we had a topic: should you put your kids out?
Because he was firm about that. Just based on
he was saying that sometimes, and they're right. Sometimes these kids are horrible.
Yeah,
they are.
Yeah.
You know, I just don't feel like at some point, like I'm up in the air with it. To be honest with you, I don't feel like Dr. Dre is wrong at all because I don't know the situation.
And I don't think he's wrong either. The only thing I would do in this situation, the only thing, not knowing everything, not knowing the whole totality of the situation, what I would do in this particular situation right now as it stands, I would get the grandkids. That's it. I would look out for the grandkids.
You might not be able to.
You might not be able to.
Like I said, like
he got lawyer money. I would go to court. He got lawyer money.
She got paternal rights. She has paternal rights, and
those are her children.
But they're gonna look at the situation. They're gonna evaluate the situation. See what's best for the kids.
How long is it gonna take to go to court? She might have a whole new house by the time you go to court.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know, you can't just say I'm gonna take the kids. Like I'm pretty sure.
She might give the kids to their father or a friend of theirs. She is the parent, so he can't take. She has paternal. Rights.
So what I would do then is I would make an attempt. If I made an attempt and it can't work, then I would leave it alone. That's different. I would make an attempt at least. And after the attempt,
that's probably what happened before.
I think
I'm pretty sure. Like I said, she's 38, and we ain't heard nothing about him doing it.
We don't know the situation. So maybe he did make an attempt.
Her a lesson. You know,
maybe he did make an attempt and it just didn't come across. It just didn't work out.
Beyonce gave his side piece.
Remember, Beyonce daddy gave his side piece all of that money for the baby he created with the side piece, and she spent all the money on herself and was broke.
Within 3 years. Yeah,
and that happens a lot too. You know, you give them money for the kids.
The first time
instead of putting the money up for the kids, they spend all the money living this lavish life.
Mm-hmm.
And later on, the kids have nothing.
No.
Kids have nothing. They got to go back to the daddy again to get money for the kids. That's just bad anyway. That's a horrible example. I mean, it's a good example, but it's just a bad thing, right? It's a good example, but it's just a bad
Yeah, I mean, just because
I
people
think
have, how many times have you seen like billionaires hand their money over to their kids when they pass, and then the kids just
exactly.
lose
Well,
everything?
a lot of them are
You know
giving it
what I
away now
mean?
to charity.
Warren Buffett,
Like you
Warren
have to,
Buffett and Bill Gates ain't giving they giving their kids
They give to
1%.
charity. Yeah.
Yep,
Right.
they not
yeah.
giving them fools now. Warren
Yeah.
Buffett already told his kids. He say, "Listen, y'all get." He ain't even giving them 1%. He said, "I'm giving y'all $1 million a piece, and everything else going to charity."
Yeah,
And I don't
because they
care
can take a
what
million
y'all
if
do
they have
after
any
that.
sense and make something out of it.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and to be honest, one of his kids is very successful. We don't hear that because they don't really talk about him. But he produces movie. He's all over Power. He's all over a lot of these shows on TV. Warren Buffett's son's stamp is on that stuff. He's a big producer in the business of that. And then he has another child that does absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
I mean,
See.
not saying that they done nothing, but he got $1 million and he's not doing nothing that the
Yeah,
other.
and he may spend that $1 million and end up like her on the street.
Exactly. So
Because I've seen a lot of people's stories about people, especially in the documentaries, when people win lottery and they millionaires, and by the
Oh,
time
that's
you
the
look,
worst.
millionaires and they gone.
nothing.
Yeah.
They don't
That's the
have
worst.
nothing to show for it. Nothing.
Mhm.
I disagree with you on this, Lou. I don't think it's morally wrong. I think as a parent, you did your job. I think you're morally obligated to raise your kids to become an adult. When they become an adult, they are obligated to take care of themselves. If you choose to help them, then that's you helping your kids. I don't think it's more. I don't think it's moral or immoral. Either way it goes for you to help them or not help them. I don't agree with that. Let's take some questions before we move on to the next subject. This Go ahead and read that for me, Sheree.
Your children are not family members. They and their children are the only beings that come from your loins. They are your product and responsibility. For me, that ends when I do.
Well, I mean, for
Yeah,
you,
that's
that,
deep.
that's
That's
that's what
deep.
you got to speak for your. You have to speak for yourself. There's times that I know parents have to cut their kids off because their kids are so destructive, especially to their other siblings. So you have to get them out of the way to keep that other sibling from being in the same situation as that. So I think a lot of time when you're a parent, you tunnel vision stuff and you don't realize that there's reasons where people do stuff. I cut friends off. I'll cut family off. If you do something to me that deem me to get rid of you out of my life, I don't care who you are. I'm getting rid of you.
Yeah, I
My
think
job as a parent is to make
Facts.
sure that my child is grown to be successful. If I give you all the tools and you choose not to be successful, I don't think it's morally wrong if I
yeah,
say, "Hey, I did
and
my
just
job.
yeah,
Your
and
turn."
just to clarify what Lou said, he's not saying that what he said at the end there. Yeah, morally it may be wrong, but his beginning is morality is subjective,
Yeah,
right?
it's
What
subjective
you
to
think
people.
morality is subjective. So
Yeah,
that's what he was saying. Yeah,
but
that's
Yeah.
what he was saying.
that's what I'm saying too. I don't think it's moral. I don't think it's morally wrong for
He's
you.
saying for him, but yeah, overall morality is just
But
subjective. Yeah,
because obviously for him, why I say I didn't agree with him because he's saying that in his subjective
More
thoughts he's
standard.
yeah,
thinking it's morally wrong, and I'm saying I
Mhm.
don't agree with him on that because I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think as a parent you get your kids to a certain point. Your job, my parents' job was to get me to be an adult, to be as successful as possible, whether they completed that task or not. That's neither here or there. But that was their job for them to do that. And I think that once you give your children all of the tools that's needed for them to be successful, and if they take a different route or if they're problematic to you or your family, then sometimes you have to part ways with this person. You know,
Mhm.
we can't sit here and act like
and that's not
yeah,
unreasonable though. That's not
exactly.
unreasonable. Once you've done everything in your power, everything that you can do to reach out and try to sort that out, that is not unreasonable. To at some point you have to take yourself away from that situation. You have to step off at some point. So that's not
Right.
unreasonable at all. Yeah.
That's not true because the grandkids might have a father, and the father might not want the grandkids to go to the Dr. Dre, or she might have a friend that she might put them in the household with, or she might have somewhere that she might has a friend that's saying that, hey, I'm gonna take charge of the kids or
So
until you get
so
back.
Until
so
you
so
get
I
yourself
so I
together.
was saying what Lou was saying kind of with because I said I mean I mentioned that he has lawyer money, so he could definitely fast track a case, get something done. I mean that's what I'm thinking in my head. and that may not be the
That's
situation, like you
possible.
guys said.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's always when you have money,
yeah,
you're
yeah,
open to a
Things
wide
are, yeah.
array of things.
yeah.
But when
You
you're
have more
out in the
avenues.
public,
Yeah, yeah,
remember, Dr. Dre is a public person. Yeah, so
yeah.
when he can't now bully his money onto her because now the whole world gets to see.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody's watching. So yeah. So
So
there's a lot taken into account. You know, again, his public persona. You know, his public face and everything. He's with Beats and all that, with Apple and everything else. Can't go out there like I said, bullying her to. You know, that's not going to be a good look. Optics. You know, maybe it's a good thing to do in private to try to get the kids away from her, but optically, publicly, it's not a good look.
Right.
yeah, let's